Let's dive right in. This module is going to be about ball motion, okay? So this is good for you bowlers out there and also coaches and future pro shop operators to know how to make proper ball selection, not only when you're buying a new ball, but also if to know like when to switch balls. Also credits to USBC for a lot of this, because a lot of this came through their research over the years. So thanks to them for that. And let's go right ahead, okay? So there are 3 phases in ball motion, okay? This is everything, no matter what, okay? You have the skid, the hook, and the roll phases. First thing is the skid phase, okay? So the skid phase is the heaviest oiled part of the lane, which is the front part of the lane, okay? If you ever look at a lane graph in 3D, it basically looks like a big ski slope, okay? So more oil, more volume in the front part of the lane, a little bit less on the outside, and also tapering down towards the pins. So basically it looks like a big mountain, okay? So this is where the ball speed is at its highest throughout the entire trajectory, okay? So if ever you bowl in your league house and the scoring monitors have speed on them, that speed is at the pins, okay? So if ever you have a chance to bowl on Spectre, as an example, that will track your initial ball speed, so off your hand. You might see a little bit of the difference there because now the pattern becomes an influence of that. So it is a good way to track your speed as you're bowling league because you're always trying to throw it consistently. So it's not a bad thing to see. However, it's not truly true, I guess, if you want to put it that way. So if you're really looking for your initial ball speed, you need either a radar gun or to find a place that's got Spectre and get that. Okay, this is also where the rev rate is at its lowest during the whole process. Okay, so it's just coming off your hand, it's getting started. Okay, friction between the ball and the lane is at its least. Why? Because like I said, we're throwing it in the puddle of oil. Okay, so we got something there, so that's helping the ball really save its energy a little bit later. So here we will have more speed than revs most of the time. Okay, obviously if we're talking game 8 in a 8-game tournament and you're trying so hard to play the same line for 8 games, unfortunately there's no more oil on that line, so you might not get that much skid. Again, we're talking in a test tube here where everything is perfect, where the front part of the lane is very well oiled, but like I said, later on in a tournament and obviously higher end tournaments and also higher end players might see earlier friction in this supposed skid zone and basically making their ball hook too early, okay? So here we say in the hook phase, usually on a house shot between 25 to 45 feet, okay? Sometimes in some tournament scenarios, like I said, later in the block, it could be 5 feet, okay? That's why we see people lofting the lane because they're trying to counter that and make the ball hook a little bit later, okay? So what happens in the hook phase, okay? This is where we start to see a little bit more of a parabolic shape to the ball, okay? So this is where the ball is now changing direction. The ball is still also skidding a little bit, but like I said, when you're looking at a pattern in 3D, and we can show it on screen as well here, we will see that basically it's encountering less and less oil. So what's happening is that it's encountering a little bit of friction, okay? So friction between the lane increases, which is making the ball slow down, okay? So it's making the ball decelerate, and because it's encountering friction, what's happening is that it is revving up. Okay, so in this phase, people tend to see, hey, I see my ball revving up, it's gaining speed. No, it's not gaining speed, it's decelerating, but it's gaining revs. And that's what makes it look like it's going faster, okay? And here in the roll phase, this is really the key factor to getting good strikes is the roll phase and understanding the roll phase, okay? So this is where speed is at its lowest and the rev rate at its highest. This is where basically there's no more oil on the lane, basically a little bit of carry down, but this is the driest part of the lane, okay, front to back. And this is really where you get those hits, okay? So if your ball is going through the pins the right way, it is not deflecting off the pins, it is going into a roll phase in the right manner, okay? So typically, if you're leaving corner pins or you're not getting the ball through the pins correctly, a good coaching tip that I could give everyone is not only just watch where the ball is at the pocket, but watch where it falls into the pit, okay? So you want to see the ball split the 8-9, okay? If you see the ball bounce off the head pin and go to the right, then basically that's a roll issue, okay? Either the ball is not getting into a roll soon enough, meaning that the hook phase is a little bit too late, So again, this is something to discuss with your coach if you want a little bit more with that. Okay, so here's another view that you could look at, basically the same thing, just in a lateral format here. So again, here in the skid phase, this is where the speed of the whole trajectory is at its fastest, the revolutions at least, and the axis rotation at its most. Okay, so don't forget, when we got to seeing the axis rotation, what do we look for? With the piece of tape on the ball, we looked off the hand. Okay, and again, if you watch that as the ball progresses, the axis point is going to migrate towards 0. So as we see here, the ideal situation is that basically your ball loses all of the axis tilt and rotation once it hits the pins, and that's what makes it the strongest. That is, in layman's terms, the essence of ball motion, is understanding and seeing, okay, skid, hook, roll. The best thing that I could tell you if you want to do some homework at home is go on YouTube, go on the PBA's YouTube channel and watch some past telecasts. Okay, watch how the ball goes through the pins. Watch how the ball changes direction. Watch when the commentators will comment about, hey, there needs to be a move to the left or it needs to make a ball change or something like that, is because their eye is so used to seeing ball motion that they see it. They see like when an alarm sounds and when they need to make a change. Okay, so I guess if you don't understand this quite too well because of the theory, right now you're not really watching ball motion. We have put some overlays with the ball going down the lane just to kind of see that. However, again, this is in a test tube. If you want to watch it in tournament play, I always liked when I would go bowl a tournament is just to sit and watch maybe some of the other squads, watch some of your favorite bowlers. Be a fan of the sport, but also be an observing fan of the sport. Okay, that is a good way to do that. Okay, and again, TV is a great option for that. So understanding skid, hook, and roll is something that could take you not only to the next level in the pro shop game and understanding the proper balls to identify, to fill in some gaps in an arsenal, but it is also a very important step to any bowler or coach that wants to progress to the next level. This is really, understanding ball motion is what differentiates the pros from the amateurs. Once you're able to understand this, who knows what could happen. But it is one of the hardest things to see, and basically, you know, like I said, try to get as much visual practice as you can doing that. And like I said, use the tools that are out there for you.